Good day, everyone. 2 years ago, I never would have imagined how our lives would be transformed by the SARS COVID 19 pandemic, not only as an institution, but also as a country. Despite these challenges, I take this opportunity to express Social Security's renewed commitment to continuously enhance and strengthen service delivery to you, our customers, and your families. On today's Click and Connect, we will be discussing upcoming contribution adjustments and its corresponding benefits to you. As you may know, the third phase of the contribution rate increase was deferred to later this year. We will be sharing more information and answering your questions as we transition toward this change. Wishing all of you good health and successes as we continue to serve you. Happy New Year 2022.
Welcome to Click and Connect, where today we will be taking a look at contributions. Our agenda for today's segment is: what are contributions, contribution rates, contribution and benefit schedule, payments and pay periods, the online contributions calculator, refunds, and employer and employee obligations. So let's get started. Contributions refer to your weekly Social Security payment that is due for any 8 hours or more of work in any given week. This applies to persons between the ages of 14 to 65 years. And a contribution week refers to employment that occurs from Monday to Sunday. Contributions are not due if an employee does not work and does not receive any payment or salary for any given week. Now let's look at the employee and the employer portion. It is important to note that the total monthly contributions are divided into two parts. It is a portion that you pay as the employee and a portion that your employer pays as the employer, okay? So your employee portion is deducted from your salary and your employer's portion is deducted from the employer's income. It is also very important to make mention that under the SSA Act, it is an offense for an employer to recover or attempt to recover any employer portion from his or her employee's salary. The table that we currently have on the screen takes a look at the contribution rates. The current rate of contributions is 9%. For self-employed persons, the rate of contributions is 7%. And for voluntary contributors, the rate of contributions is 3.2%. The contributions reform, which came into effect in July 2019, saw a phased-in approach, where in phase 1, there was an increase in the contributions of 0.5%. And then in phase 2, there was a 1% increase. And then in phase 3, we saw another 1% increase. So, as it relates to the wage band, which refers to your salary range, these percentages are going to translate to an increase in benefits that persons receive. Essentially, the more contributions you pay, the more cash benefits you will receive whenever you are ill, you are pregnant, you claim any benefit type, retirement, you will receive a higher payout because you have been paying more to Social Security. Now, when it comes to the wage band, that essentially means the salary range. So you can see on the table there's a breakdown from persons who are making $300 and over to persons now being insured for $420 and over, and it continues to increase as you can see on the table. Essentially, if you make a higher salary, your contributions to Social Security will be a little bit higher, but you will also receive a higher cash benefit in times when you need to claim a Social Security benefit, be it for short-term benefits or for long-term benefits. On our next slides, we will provide you with real-life examples of how persons pay in their Social Security contributions and what they receive from those contributions that are paid in. The table we now have on the screen is the contribution and benefits schedule, the breakdown of the proposed 1% increase that comes into effect April 2022 and onwards. So on the table, you'll be able to see the wage band, which also means your salary range, the wage ceiling, which refers to your insurable earnings, the portion of your earning, the portion of your salary rather, that is insured, your employee deductions, and your employer deductions. Now, to truly understand this table, it's most convenient for you to identify what your weekly salary is. Find your weekly salary, then look right beside it for you to see how much of that salary is insured on a weekly basis, and then you'll find your deduction as the employee and your employer's deduction. or rather the payment your employer needs to make from his earnings to total your Social Security contributions. We've been talking about contributions and the importance of contributions, but we now need to look at how those contributions translate into benefits and why it is so important for you to secure your benefits by ensuring that your contributions are paid. Essentially, contributions are an investment for you, your family, and your future because it allows you to receive cash benefits from the Social Security Board. Let's take a look at a real-life example here. On the screen, we have three persons. We have Jane Doe, we have John Doe, and we have Karen Doe. We're going to be looking at Jane Doe. Jane Doe's salary on a weekly basis is $140, anywhere between $140 to $179.99. So for this example, let's say that she makes $160 on a weekly basis. Now the employee portion, what needs to come out of Jane's salary, is $3.54. What needs to come out of Jane's employer's pocket is $10.86 on a weekly basis. That gives the total weekly contributions that is supposed to be paid to Social Security for Jane. So again, Jane's employee portion would be $3.54 and the employer's portion would be $10.86. So you can see here that the employee portion is essentially less than what the employer has to pay to make the total weekly contributions. Now, for short-term benefits, let's say that Jane was ill for an entire contribution week. What Jane would have received from Social Security is $128. So again, Jane's salary range was $160. The benefits that she receives for a short-term benefit claim is $128 weekly. And for a pension, the weekly rate would have been $96 on a weekly basis. So this example itself shows you how essential Social Security contributions are to securing your family, your future, and yourself in receiving cash benefits. So if you can remember clearly, in episode 2 of Click and Connect, we talked about registering yourself with the Social Security Board and how that allowed you to contribute and to receive benefits. That premise is the same. You register with Social Security, you ensure that your contributions are paid, and in turn, you receive benefits. And here are 9 benefits that are covered, or rather offered by the Social Security Board to those who are insured with us. We have sickness, maternity, injury, funeral grant, medical care, invalidity, disability, death and survivors, and retirement. Always remember that by securing your contributions, you are securing your benefits and you are securing that investment for you, your family, and your future. There are 3 methods in which you can submit your contribution payments. You can use the over-the-counter service at any Social Security office in your area. You can use the online contributions portal that allows you to submit statements and payments from the convenience of your home or office. And you can use the Dropbox service, which is located outside the Social Security office in your area for payments, but the payments must be check payments only. We do not accept cash via the Dropbox service. Now, I talked a little bit a while ago about the online contributions portal. So let me tell you about how you can get access to the online portal, okay? The first thing you need to do is visit Social Security's website. You download and complete the OCP access form under the Forms tab. You submit that completed form to info@socialsecurity.org.bz. You check your inbox for your login credentials and you have been registered to pay your contributions via the online portal, so you can avoid the hassle of lines and turnaround, and you just pay online. On this slide, we detail the payment periods. It has the 12 months of the year, the periods in which contributions should be paid, and the number of weeks that are to be paid in any given month. Now you will notice that some months has 4, some months have 5. That is because a contribution week with Social Security runs from Monday to Sunday. So for you to know how many contribution weeks are in a given month as an employer, you simply count the number of Mondays in the month to know how many weeks of contributions should be paid. And as you can see, we have the deadline as well for the contributions, which the dates vary a little bit. We have the 14th, in some months we have the 16th, you would see the 15th, but that is because Whenever the 14th drops on a weekend or a public and bank holiday, the deadline for contributions is the first business day after the weekend or after the holiday. As you would have seen, there are a number of contribution rates that apply for the various weekly earnings. So what we've developed here at Social Security is an online contributions calculator that takes the ease out of the equation and allows you to just enter your weekly or your monthly earning to know how much you should be paying from your salary towards your contributions and how much your employer should be paying. So to access the online contributions calculator, visit our website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz, and under the tab Online Services, you select the Online Contributions Calculator and you go ahead and select the option that you prefer if you would like to indicate your monthly or your weekly salary, and it will then take you to a new screen that shows you what the deduction should be for both you and your employer. It takes the hassle out of the entire process and you will have that information at the tip of your fingers. Social Security offers the refund of contribution in any of these three scenarios. 1. Your contributions were paid in error. For that, the refund application must be submitted within 2 years from the end of the year that the contribution was paid in error. In scenario 2, your contributions were paid by 2 or more employers, and that application must be made within 12 months from the end of the year in which the contributions were made. And scenario 3, contributions paid during periods of illness or incapacity. So for any short-term benefit, that is employment injury, sickness, and maternity benefit in which you were ill for the entire contribution week, which is from Monday to Sunday, and contributions were paid on your behalf, those contributions are eligible to be refunded, the amount that was taken from your salary, because you were on a benefit, and as such, the contributions that will be reflected in your record at Social Security are recorded as credited contributions. So again, if you were ill for a contribution week, Monday to Sunday, credited contributions are paid, and you should not have been paying Social Security contributions for that particular contribution week. Let's take a look at the contribution obligations, and we've broken them down by employee versus employers. Your obligations as an employee is to ensure that you are registered with SSB for active employment or self-employment. Ensure that your Social Security number is correctly listed on your payslip. Report your employer to the nearest SSB office if they're not paying Social Security contributions for you. Ensure to check your contribution history regularly to ensure that all your payments are accurate. And claim a contributions refund if any of the three scenarios we stated a short while ago applies. Now, employers, your obligations are as follows. Ensure that all your current employers working for 8 hours or more in a week are registered with SSB. Ensure that you submit your monthly contribution statement on behalf of all your workers to SSB. Provide us with a complete and accurate listing of all your employees, Social Security numbers, and contribution amounts for each worker, and this is done on your monthly contribution statement. As always, our customer support team stands ready to help. You can contact us at Facebook at SSB Belize, using our live chat feature on our website at socialsecurity.org.bz, or you can email us at info@socialsecurity.org.bz. Be sure to also check out our YouTube page where we have lots of useful tutorials on how to use many of the services we offer. Always remember, okay, your contributions are the gateway to securing you, your family, and your future.
This is your step-by-step guide to using the online contribution calculator. Start by using the SSB website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Click on the online service to view the drop-down list and select Contribution Calculator. This takes you to the calculator's homepage. Here you can enter either your weekly salary or your total monthly salary. For example, we will be using a weekly salary amount for persons who are paid on a weekly basis. Here we enter 250 and simply click on the Calculate My Contribution. The breakdown shows the exact weekly portion for employee versus the employer's portion and the combined total. For example, your employee portion is highlighted in green at $7.14. The employer's portion as $14.46 for the combined weekly total of $21.60. It is important to note that the employee's portion is deducted from your salary while your employer's portion is deducted from the employer's income. Both portions are then combined for the total payment to SSB on the employee's behalf. To calculate your total monthly deduction, you simply multiply the employee's weekly portion of $7.14 by 4 or 5 weeks depending on the month. The contribution breakdown also highlights the 3 phases of the contribution reform. This is helpful to track your contribution history.
Welcome back, viewers. We are now ready to begin our live question and answer segment. It is my distinct honor to introduce to you our Chief Executive Officer, Mrs. Deborah Ruiz, and our Contributions Manager, Mr. Carlton McCoy. Both Social Security representatives come with extensive knowledge on all things Social Security related, and they stand ready to address all of your questions. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. We have a question here from Haven, and Haven says, if you've stopped working a couple months before your due date during your pregnancy, can you continue paying your own contributions in order for you to still qualify for your maternity benefits?
At this point, we would not advise for you to start paying as a self-employed because you would have to pay at least 26 contributions for you to qualify for maternity benefit. Now you're saying that you stopped working about 2 months, about a couple months just before confinement. What Social Security does is that we go back from your date of confinement, we go back 7 weeks. And from that 7 weeks, we go back another 39 weeks. And out of that 39 weeks, as long as you have 25 contributions, of which 20 must be paid and 5 credited, you would qualify for a maternity benefit. So in essence, what you can do is from your due date, you go back 7 weeks. And then you go back another 39 weeks and check and see if you have at least 25 contributions, of which 20, like I said, 20 must be paid and 5 credited. If you have those contributions, then you would qualify for maternity benefit. But if you start to pay as a self-employed, you would have to pay 26 weeks before you qualify for any benefits as a self-employed.
All right, so we have another question from Evian, and Evian says, if your period of employment lapses and you start a new job and you get sick or suffer an injury on the job, do you qualify for sickness benefits?
Thanks for the question, Linda. In terms of employment injury, you get injured on the job, you're covered from day one for employment injury. However, for sickness benefit, we do have a contribution requirement. In addition to you being in insurable employment, we require 5 weeks prior to the week of illness. So if you have that, then yes, you will.
Okay. Right. So we have another one here from Queen Natasha, and she says, my dad is 52 years. He's a self-employed mechanic and has never made any contributions. Is it too late for him to make contributions in order to qualify for some benefits?
Okay, since he is 62 years old...
He's 52.
Sorry, since he is 52 years old and a self-employed, he can apply to pay as a self-employed. And after 26 weeks of payment as a self-employed, he then qualifies for benefits. Now, he immediately after the 26 weeks, he would qualify for employment injury. But for the other benefits, there are certain conditions. For example, for sickness benefits, he would have to pay at least a year of contributions for him to qualify for sickness benefits. In terms of his age, since he is 52 years of age, he can only declare an income of $200 per week. Yeah, that's basically it.
All right. So we have another one here from Have. It says, what are the steps I should take in signing up for a self-employed contribution form if I open my small business?
Okay. Well, the question is, we will need more information when you're opening your small business. Are you opening it as yourself or are you employing other people? Because you can register as a self-employed or you can register as an employee. employer. No? So we would need more details, but both processes, it would be to contact, you can check on the website for the information in terms of the particular form for self-employed, or you get the employer registration form. We will soon be having an employer portal, so soon registration will be online. But we encourage you to contact our offices and we can assist you in advising which is the appropriate form that you would need to fill out.
And Have, it's important for you to know that we have our customer care center that's also available during working hours. So should you require full details or more information on where to find the forms, any type of clarification or information that you need, just go ahead and send us a message there and our helpful team will respond to you in under 10 minutes, okay? So we have another question here from Rubicelli. She says, my husband pays social, referring to contributions. Would I benefit from him or do I need to pay my own social security benefits for myself?
Yes, you would need to pay your own benefits for yourself. However, and of course, that is not something we're looking forward to, but should your husband die, then you would qualify for benefits based on his contribution payments. But it's best for you to, if you want to qualify for a benefit, then you would have to pay your own social security.
All right. So again, we encourage you guys to ask your questions, to share the live feed. We are here to provide you with any support that you need, so don't be afraid to ask us your questions.
To add additional information with regards to the question from Queen Natasha, should your father choose to pay self-employed, he would then qualifies for all benefits offered by Social Security, similar to any person who is working for an employer.
All right, so we have a question here. They want to know if a self-employed person can pay their contributions online.
Okay. Currently, a self-employed is unable to pay their contributions online, but we are introducing an employer's portal. Currently, we have an IP portal. We'll be introducing an employer portal in the very near future, and both employers and self-employed persons will be able to submit their payments online. You should be hearing in the very near future, we will be promoting the employer's portal, and like I said, it's going to be very user-friendly, and we encourage, as a matter of fact, as long as the portal is launched, we will only accept electronic payments of contributions. So there will be no walking over the counter, but all payments will have to be made through the employer's portal.
All right. So we have an excellent question here from Barbara. Barbara says, if my job has missed a contribution, but I notice until 1 year after, how do I go about paying that?
Okay, that is a very good question, Barbara. And this is something that happens a lot. There are several ways that you can look into the contributions that were not paid. You can approach your employer in the first instance if you feel comfortable with doing that. You can either call the Social Security office, provide the information, and we are going to do the follow-up on that. You can visit the office, you can send an email. It is important though that once we have the information and we proceed with the investigation, oftentimes there are some employers out there who may be reluctant to pay